When we review salaries for state officers, members of parliament are part of state officers. So we don't have a process that singles out members of parliament. We look at members of parliament as part of state officers. So in terms of their pay review, the commission set a 4-year review cycle. So in other words, we review pay after every 4 years. We are currently in the 3rd cycle. That 3rd cycle runs from 2021-22 all the way to 24-25, right? And that's the period where we are at the moment. So in this current remuneration review cycle, we have concluded job evaluation for all jobs, both state officer roles and also the public, the other public officer roles. Some jobs, the grade may change, some may not change. In this cycle, very few jobs actually had a change in grade. For members of parliament, there was a change in grade. The grade of members of parliament moved by 1 grade. So now their grading has moved from what was E5 to an F1. The issue about the wage bill would not be such a big problem, right? Because if we are more productive, I use this analogy of then you bake a bigger cake. Then you can share the cake, right? Then we wouldn't be fighting about why are we not increasing pay here and there, right? So let's bake that bigger cake. Let's be more productive as a nation, and we can be more productive. Kenya should be the leading in Africa, not number 5. We should not be where we are in the world. We can be better. Fairness, equity is one of the principles that guides the commission in its decisions. All state officers have a consolidated salary, right? Up to this cycle, because now we will be releasing for the next cycle next week. But up to the 2nd remuneration review cycle and the beginning of the 3rd cycle, all state officers have a consolidated package. That consolidated package has a house allowance inbuilt into that, into the consolidated pay. So it does not treat members of parliament differently. Everybody has a house allowance as part of that pay. However, we are looking at deconsolidating that pay. So as we release the next as we release the salaries for this cycle, you will actually see that there is a house allowance for all state officers, including members of parliament, within that consolidated package. You've also talked about a grant that others get, members of parliament don't get. Again, let me state that all state officers are entitled to either a transport benefit. In other words, you're given a car, right? And that car, of course, is fueled, maintained by the government. Or, in the case of members of parliament, they are given a transport facilitation allowance that allows them to buy the car, and then they claim mileage for maintenance and running of the car. So it is actually conferring the member of parliament the same benefit in a different way. The 3rd category is some state officers just get a commuter allowance. All state officers have a retirement package. When I say all, it's actually everybody has a retirement package. What is different is, again, the mode of that package. What does it look like, right? So you have the president, deputy president, the speaker. They have a specific package which is in a specific act, right? And you'll be familiar with the Presidential Act, the deputy president, which also has the speaker and the chief justice. below that level, because parks are also assigned based on your grade and the worth of the job. So below that level, all other state officers have two types of retirement benefits. One is a gratuity. So, and at the moment, that gratuity is at 31% of your pensionable emoluments. That includes governors, that includes ourselves in commissions, and all other state officers. And largely, these are state officers who are on a fixed contract, so they get a gratuity. That, however, does not stop an employer converting that gratuity into a pension. Members of Parliament, for example, have a pension, which was there even before the commission was set up. They've always had a pension scheme, and it is running, right? So nothing stops an employer converting the gratuity into a pension. Remember, I said the wage bill at the moment is 930 billion, right? That excludes pension, right? Pension is over 100 billion. It's about 113 billion, right? That's not a small amount. So when we talk about pension, it directly speaks to taking away more money from the revenue source. And again, what is the impact of that on development, citizen service delivery? So pension in itself, as I said, it can be a very expensive package depending on how it is set up, on how it is administered, on what exactly it confers on the pensioner. The government's policy at the moment is to move away from defined benefits to contributory benefits. Pension has two components. One is, are we delivering a pension package that is sustainable for the country in the long term or not? Secondly, it has a second question of, is this pension equitable, both to the state officer and the non-state officer? Because remember, one of the principles I spoke earlier about is equitable pay and fairness. So when you talk about equity, fairness, it speaks to, we are all drawing from the same taxpayer. So why would your package be completely different from mine? What concerns the Commission will always be affordable, fiscally sustainable wage bill, so that we do not compromise development, service delivery to the citizens. And that how the wage bill is distributed, the taxpayer must have a say through this commission, must have a say on how that revenue is allocated. So, and you remember I said earlier, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a wage bill that is increasing in absolute terms. It will increase. So as we talk about, reaching the citizens with better services, enhanced services, absolutely nothing wrong with that, and it's good, and we must, because it's part of our development agenda as a nation. But that comes with increased wage bill, which again, as I say, there is nothing wrong with an amount of increased wage bill. The question is, what is that ratio to revenue, and to what extent is it crowding resources for development and service delivery?